A reading from the Gospel of John. Jesus said, "And now I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world, and I am coming to you. Holy Father, protect them in your name that you have given me, so that they may be one as we are one. While I was with them, I protected them in your name that you have given me. I guarded them, and not one of them was lost, except the one destined to be lost, so that the scripture might be fulfilled. But now I am coming to you, and I speak these things in the world so that they may have my joy made complete in themselves. I have given them your word, and the world has hated them because they do not belong to the world, just as I do not belong to the world. I am not asking you to take them out of the world, but I ask you to protect them from the evil one. They do not belong to the world, just as I do not belong to the world. Sanctify them in the truth. Your word is truth. As you have sent me into the world, so I have sent them into the world. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, so that they also may be sanctified in truth." I began that reading by saying Jesus said. It might have been more appropriate to say Jesus prayed, because this is what Jesus is doing at the very end of his time in John's Gospel. He's had the long goodbye with them, and now he has turned his attention, his voice, to his Father in heaven, and he's praying on behalf of his friends, his disciples, praying to the Father in the hearing of the disciples, and so they get to overhear Jesus praying to the Father for them. I remember in the very last minutes and days of my father's life, some of the last words that he said as he was dying and he had his family around him. So he pulled my mother close and said, "I will be praying for you." It struck me as such a revelation at the time, and it still does, that a person who was himself going through this transition would say to his beloved wife of over 50 years, "I will be praying for you." And that image sticks with me about my parents and the love that continues to this day through them, and the relationship that continues to this day, even though my father has passed from this world to the next. And it gives me a very human face, and one that helps me to imagine what it might have been like to be the disciples gathered around Jesus, another very human face, who was in the midst of his own crisis, knowing he was to die, taking the time to pray for his disciples within their earshot, praying to God on their behalf. I wonder what it might bring up in you this day to imagine Jesus praying for you. Not all of us, the church, the world, the pandemic, but what would it be like if we could overhear Jesus praying for you? I hope you'll take that meditation into your day in the knowledge that Jesus is in fact praying for you and is keeping you ever in his care, in his sight. And may God bless us all this day and always. Amen.